Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Random Episode. This is the podcast where we watch a random episode of a TV show from a random series that neither Christy nor I have watched before. I'm Varn.
And I'm Christy.
As always, thank you, Large Jesus, our friend, for that amazing intro song. This week, we are talking about Yellowjackets, Season 1, Episode 7, No Compass. This one aired December 26th, 2021 on Showtime. A nice, Christmas episode, day after Christmas episode. Definitely felt the festive spirit with this one. So the episode summary from IMDb says that as starvation looms, Taissa leads a last-ditch effort and or suicide mission. The Yellowjackets are forced to commit small talk. Chrissy, what did you know about the show before watching it?
So I had heard a lot about this show. I feel like people kind of recommended. I mean, people actually recommended that we watch this for the podcast, but people have talked about, like, you should watch this. I knew that it was about a group of girls on a sports team who crashed on some deserted place somewhere. So I kind of knew what the premise would be. And then I had heard that it was some sort of kind of creepy or eerie, I don't know, Lost vibes. And for that reason, I never wanted to watch it.
You were the one who suggested this one. So I was really surprised that you wanted to watch this.
I just, I wanted to face some of my fears. And also I was like, it can't be that bad, which we'll get into. So I kind of had some idea of what I was getting into. And I don't know. I'll fill you in on how I feel about it later. What about you?
Yeah, I've read about this one on different sites and seen that it's one of those ones you gotta watch. But of course, this is a Showtime show, so neither of us have Showtime subscriptions, so we wasn't gonna watch this. But thankfully, season 1 is on Netflix, so spoiler alert, folks.
So random.
We had to only episodes we could choose from were from season 1.
We're too poor to pay for Showtime.
Exactly. I mean, we pay for everything else out there, so sorry, Showtime, you're not getting any money.
Showtime just wasn't worth it for maybe one show that we might want to watch. But yeah, thank you, Netflix.
Yeah, thank you, Netflix, as always. So yeah, I knew similarly that this was something kind of like Lord of the Flies, a little bit Lost-like.
Okay.
And I knew that it was, yes, about a sports team, a group of girls that were. So I was actually surprised when there were boys out there too. I did not see that one come out.
Yeah, we got to talk about that at some point.
All girls, yeah. But that's all I knew about it. And that's also knowing that it was kind of creepy too. So I was actually a little bit excited when you suggested this one because, again, as someone who hates scary TV, this one was creepy, which again, given my love for all things Goosebumps and Goosebumps adjacent, this was great.
Yeah, Goosebumps vibes.
Yes.
All right.
So for this one, a lot went on in this
and
episode.
There's a huge cast, right? Because it's like a full sports team.
Yes.
And it's them as teenagers and them as adults. So it's like a massive cast of people.
A huge cast of people, including a coach and a random 2 dudes, which I don't know what their roles are.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that.
Aside from the coach. But so for this one, I think we're just going to try and summarize the story a little bit more beyond what IMDb has provided for us. And then we're just going to talk about different parts of the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So first off, let's talk about Ty's group. So Ty, she is talking about how it's going to be cold. It's in where they are. Again, this is also, we're talking about there's a past and present. So younger group, older
This is
group.
like the teenage girl
so the teenage
storyline.
girls where they are lost.
Yeah.
They are worried about it being cold. And so Ty's like, I'm going to head south. I'm going to find help. Come with me if you want to. So she gathers a group of girls.
Yeah.
She gives herself a haircut. And they set out into the woods. And things are going great. At first, they're telling funny ghost stories or, I don't know, TV storylines around the campfire. But then once they come across a red river, which matches a
premonition
dream that Lottie, who's back at the camp, had, things start to sour, and a lot of the girls want to turn back. But Ty forces them pretty much to move forward.
Yeah.
And then the next night around the campfire, they are all attacked by wolves, and one of the main girls, Van, gets seriously mauled, Who knows if she
I think
dies?
she's got to be dead.
I mean, it was a pretty bad injury. But yeah, so and that ends with Ty kind of weeping over Van's body.
Yeah. I mean, this is like probably the main event of the episode is this like trip that this one group of girls is taking. So, can we talk about I just want to know like so they have no idea where they are? Like at one point Ty said we're not on an island.
Correct.
They have to have some idea like where were they flying, right? Like what part of the world? So like do they have any context for what type of environment they're facing, right? Like what is this?
I don't know. And Van talks about randomly about New York City and going to New York City and when you go there. So I thought that maybe they were like on the way to New York City.
Are they like in really far north in northern Canada or something?
Maybe.
Where they like are in an uninhabited part of Canada and if they walk far enough south they reach New York?
That would make a lot more sense to me. But it seems as if it's kind of creepy, right? Because when they come to the Red River, their compass, hence the title of the episode, No Compass, their compass starts freaking out and spinning. And it's not spinning because they're trying to figure out which direction to go. And they don't know which direction to go because the compass isn't working, which is very Lost vibes.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I do feel like that's part of the like psychological thriller piece of this whole thing. Whereas of course for me, I'm trying to more focus on like the practicality. Like I'm like, where are they? How long have they been there? How many people have there been? Like who's died so far? Where's the food? Right? Like the whole time it was hard for me to get into the story because all I could focus on is like the logistics. And I really do want to know like how long have they been there, right? Like if they already are running out of food, what have they been eating for
what
food?
have they been eating? I was wondering that too. Yeah.
I mean, we saw in the like recap of previous episodes that they found like a sick deer.
Yes.
So like they were trying to hunt for deer, but now like the deer are gone or they're sick. So like then what are they eating? Like how are they surviving? I have so many questions.
And was the sick deer kind of part of the mystical aspect of where they've landed? Like they are in a very like whatever area they're part of, it's killing off the animals, the wildlife. Like that's what I was also wondering too. And then that recap of the dead deer.
Yeah. Well, can I just ask all my other questions? So they are. It looks like they're living in a legit cabin, like a house.
That's fascinating, right? How did they come across that?
Where are like? How are they living in like a full blown house with rooms? They didn't build that.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
It looks like something that's been abandoned. It looks like there's multiple houses.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a complex almost, or like a
Kind
town
of like a camp
or
or
something.
I thought I saw it more like a
like a
camp
campground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's also, I mean, maybe that's part of the psychological thriller of it all is like somebody did live here or like this was a place that was inhabited and now everybody's mysteriously gone. But it definitely gives the vibes that this is a place that people had been before. Like they didn't just create this town after landing here like a couple months ago.
I have watched because I do love. I talked about this with your husband. How much I love survivalist shows and like movies, things like that, right? And it does happen. I think it does happen in real life, right? Where people who get lost, they do stumble upon like hunting lodges and things like that, and they were able to, live it out over there until they feel more comfortable to go out there, survive winter, whatever, so forth.
Yeah.
So this does happen, I feel like, in survival stories. I think they do come across.
Oh my God. Just thinking about this is creeping me out so much. I hate this type of thing. It freaks me out so much. Like, where are all the people? Why is it deserted? I don't know. Sometimes my husband makes me watch like zombie related stuff. And it just makes me think of that, where it's like, are things going to pop out? Like, is somebody coming to eat you? I don't know. That was the part that I was struggling with. I was like, can this be real? Like, is this a realistic story? I don't know. But I don't actually want to know. But the whole time I was thinking like, I'm assuming their plane crashed. So like, I'm assuming some of them already died, like who's been part of this journey so far? Like how many of them were there? Like, has anyone died of just like starvation yet? Or is that coming,
Yeah, we didn't get that. We didn't get that in either the storylines or the recap, if I recall. We didn't hear about anyone having been murdered or killed in the crash or anything like that.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
has
that's
anybody
great.
been eaten by a wolf yet? You know, like, have they been
Great
attacked
question.
by anybody or any bear? You know, like, are there animals that are attacking them?
Smoke monster.
Is that a Lost
That's a
thing?
Lost reference.
Okay, I probably watched the first season of
Then you
Lost.
should know about the smoke monster.
Is that from like the first season of Lost? How many seasons was that show?
There's a lot of seasons, and I'm not even 100% sure if that smoke monster was in the
I
first
I just feel
season.
like when I watched it, it was still somewhat normal. I
Really?
think I feel like it was normal-ish the first season, and then it started like becoming bananas.
That is a show that I would love
Right?
to go back and rewatch.
I don't
is
want to
Lost.
watch that at all because of like I just can't. It's so creepy. I just hate the idea of like supernatural forces out in the woods. I also hate the idea of being in the woods.
Oh yeah.
As you also know.
Yes, I know that.
I'm not a big camper, so all of this whole idea is not for me. But anyway, I digress.
Yes.
Ty and her group of girls.
Ty and
They
her
were
group
out
of
there.
girls, and it seems as if Van and Ty are either together or they are. Van is heavily hitting on Ty this whole episode.
Okay, I'm glad you picked up on this as well because I was like, am I reading into this wrong? It did seem like they were either together or something. Because then we find out later that Ty is a lesbian. So
Yeah,
it would make sense that they were together.
yeah, because when Ty was getting herself a haircut
Yeah.
towards the beginning of the episode, we're back at camp. Van comes up next to her and says, "You look hot."
Yeah. I mean, and the way she was like, I want to take you to New York. Like they were,
So I think
yeah.
I'm gonna say I think they were a couple.
I think that makes sense. And I think that's why Van, I'm assuming, dying at the end was so traumatizing because Ty, I mean, it's kind of her fault. Like she led them into the woods. She said she would keep watch while they slept and then she fell asleep. So she wasn't keeping watch.
Did she fall asleep? I thought
yeah.
she like walked away to go like look at her whatever flare gun or whatever she had.
The way I'm remembering it, and I think wrote down, was that she was like up in a tree keeping watch and then like jolted awake.
Oh,
And because like
okay.
all the the screaming
Yeah, yeah.
started, and then she like jolted awake, and then jumped into the cloud of smoke, which was part of the premonition dream.
I
So it was like
see.
they saw the red blood river, and she had the cloud of smoke, and then that's when the wolves attacked and killed her friend
What the
and
hell
lover.
was I doing? Maybe I was typing up notes or something
Maybe.
from previous scenes. I missed that part.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that she messed up. But in Ty's defense, she's a future senator, right? Again, she motivated these people and they all signed up for this, right? They all knew. She said, I might die out here.
Yeah.
And everyone goes along with her and knew that they might die too. So, I mean, they had a mission. The mission, you
Yeah.
can't quit on day 2 of the mission of getting south just because you see a red river. Man. You
Yeah.
got to keep going.
Yeah. I'm also very intrigued. Like, at what point in time do they reach this point where they're like, we're not getting rescued? That's the other thing I wonder when people, get in like plane crashes and boat crashes and stuff. Like, at what point do you just say, like, it's not going to happen? We're not getting rescued. Like, we're just going to be here forever. And I think that's, I'm assuming why Ty was like, we got to go save ourselves because, like, nobody's coming to save us.
I mean, there's a whole psychological
I know.
aspect behind that where some people give up early on.
Yeah.
And some people are never give up hope that they're
Yeah.
going to get found.
Yeah. So I don't know, but so I will say this throughout the storyline of them like in the woods, I was kind of like, okay, like this all makes sense. Like nothing bad's happening. Like really throughout the whole episode, I kept being like, this isn't like that creepy. Like this isn't that freaky. This isn't like I'm fine with like everything that's happening this episode. And then the final scene of the wolf attack like really fucked me up.
That
like,
was...
I will say, I probably out loud said like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I was like very shaken the rest of the day. Like
Really?
TV shows don't always stick with me, but even like at night getting ready for bed, I was like, I cannot stop thinking about this wolf attack. Like it was fucked. Like I don't know. It
No,
really
it was-
affected me.
But it made me want to watch it even more. Like Netflix almost had me with their 3, 2, 1 next episode.
know.
Almost had me. But I wanted to stay committed to not being tainted by finding out what happened next episode.
Exactly.
But I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way to end the episode. What is this
yeah.
episode number 7?
7.
Oh, man, we got like 3 more episodes
Yeah.
of stuff to come. So I was I am excited to find out what happens next.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was very well done for a normal person who doesn't have like severe anxiety from shows like this. It would be great. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, like the whole show, I was like, this isn't that bad. What are people thinking about? And then it was that last like 2 minutes where I was like, okay, I get it now. Okay, this is what everybody's talking about. Like this show is really messed up. So thanks, Yellowjackets.
Thank you, Yellowjackets.
You are keeping me from sleeping soundly for the whole week. Appreciate you.
That's great. Then anything else to go with this? Talk about with this group? I'm sure maybe we'll come back to something else as we talk about.
Yeah,
the other
I mean, we'll have to
storylines.
talk about how Misty is part of their group. Misty
Yeah.
is, I don't know how to describe Misty. A weirdo.
She is something.
She's something else.
So yeah. So let's talk about Misty.
Okay, let's talk about
so,
Misty.
Back when they're all rallying the troops, decide to go, we meet Misty. The first time we see Misty, she is looking out of the cabin, looking at one of the men.
Yeah,
and
I'm
one of the-
assuming he's like the head coach.
Yeah, so he's the coach.
Yeah.
And he's talking, and she sees him talking and laughing to, I guess, one of the people who's leaving.
Uh-huh.
And she decides then she's going to go with this group. And when she goes out there, she tells the coach, she like walks up right to the coach. She's just like, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to save you. And the coach just looks around so awkwardly and so uncomfortable. But being a good coach goes, that's good of you. I'm really proud of you. Because Coach can't go. Coach, as we saw, is missing like half
Yeah,
his leg.
he got his leg amputated, which I have questions about that. Like, did somebody cut that off for him? Did they sew it up?
I
Anyway,
wanted to know about that
I have a lot of
too.
questions about the amputated leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Misty clearly is like in love with Coach and has this big crush and is obsessed with him.
Yes.
And he clearly is like, oh, this poor little weirdo girl. She's got to be like the manager, right?
I don't know. She could be a team player. I mean, I'm going to assume this is a public high school, so maybe she's, a bench player.
But they're like an elite team. I read that on IMDb.
Okay.
Like
wait,
apparently
wait,
they're
wait.
like a really good team.
Okay, because she says my team needs me. When
think-
she says she's going to go, she says my team needs me.
As somebody who's coached high school sports, the managers are often people who are just like, they need me.
Okay.
Like I could
Okay.
very much see this girl as being like a manager who thinks she's like, I love you managers, I love you, but like sometimes they think they're really important.
You know what? And that actually does tie well to when we get to our present story, because Misty is one of our characters in the present.
Yeah.
As a grown up. So
Whew.
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's team manager Misty.
Yeah, and she just like thinks she's like really vital to the success of the team
Yeah.
and is like there to help them, and also is like following the coach around, like in love
Right.
with him. Anyway, that was my take on her. Also, the fact that she is full on psychotic as an adult. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
we'll get to that. But anyway, yeah. So just wanted to note that Misty does join the
She
forest
does.
expedition.
And everyone there knows, isn't like buying her cover up, or, everyone apparently can realize and knows that she's in love with Coach.
Yeah, I'm assuming she spends a lot of time like following him around and stuff.
I'm
And
sure.
you know, the other thing I will say is because this show is set up in a way that we see some of them as adults also. For me, it was like, oh, so like at least these 5 girls live, like it kind
Right.
of like helps you see like at least some of them are gonna live. So like we know like Misty's going out into the woods, Ty's going out into the woods, but like we see them as adults so that we know they're gonna come out of this. I did think, and I don't know, maybe this was just like a coincidence, partway through the episode I was like, it's so weird that like Van is such a big character yet we don't see her as an adult. Like something must happen, and literally in this episode she dies, and I'm like, that's why we don't see her as an adult.
I thought I wrote that she died, but then when I was doing my IMDb research, trying to type
Does
down
she
people's
not die?
names, I saw a picture from her IMDb page where I saw this actor and she had a patch over her face, so
Oh,
she may survive.
all right. I mean, I hope she does. Like, I don't want her to die, but that wolf attack looked real bad.
That
Like, I
looked
feel
really
like, and
bad.
like, what are they gonna do? Perform medical surgery on her right now? Like, they're in the middle of the woods. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, and then I just assumed again because we don't see Van as an adult. I just assumed she dies.
Yeah, same.
But I don't know.
But maybe team manager Misty has
Yeah.
got the
Some weird. I don't know. They also do have that weird like bone charm thing that
Yes.
that Lottie girl? Yeah, Lottie. She gave it
Yes.
to them. Yeah,
So Lottie
is like a
also
psychic or
interesting
something.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
And she apparently has had some premonitions and foretold some things to happen before. But earlier in the episode, Lottie's talking to another player.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
so
think
many
you
of
catch
them.
their name. Anyway, while they are looking at a charred body of some animal, she's talking about her dream and how she saw a red river and a red mist. And she pulls out a perfectly white bone from this charred body and notes how, oh, this one
Didn't
hasn't been
burn.
burnt at
Yeah.
all. And she's got it in her hand. And so then, when all the group is rallying to go, Ty's group is rallying to go on their mission, Lottie goes to Van and gives her this bone and tells her about the dream and
Yeah.
tells her, don't lose this.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't lose this. Did
Yeah.
she lose it?
No, Ty had it with her at the end. I'm pretty sure I saw like Ty with it at the end.
Fucking
So
Ty.
I don't know. I mean, again, like we know the future for Ty. So like, I don't know. She's going to get, in some ways, good things will happen to her. In some ways, she's going to get real fucked up.
No, yeah, they all get
I mean,
fucked
they all,
up.
like, I don't know if you can ever leave this experience and not be fucked up. But
No way in hell.
which, when we get to the adult storyline, we'll talk about that.
Which we
Okay,
will.
can we talk about Shauna as a child, as a teenager?
Oh, yes.
This-
So,
I have so many questions about this storyline. Okay, tell us what's going on.
so in the recap, we see Shauna out in the woods with one of the other girls who's got a hanger and looks like she's about to try and perform an abortion
Yep.
on Shauna. So there we go. We found out Shauna's pregnant.
Yep.
But it looks like it for whatever reason she stops it or it doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't
they
work, I
Stop
don't
it. Doesn't
know.
happen. Yeah. So Shauna's a child. She's got a friend named Jackie.
Jackie is her best friend, but she's keeping a lot of secrets from Jackie right now.
And from my point of view, Jackie thinks they're best friends. Shauna doesn't consider them best friends anymore.
Wow.
I think that's
There's
what's
a reason
happening.
for that.
There's a reason for that. So Jackie confronts Shauna and says, "Something's going on. What's going on?" And Shauna comes clean and says,
Well, sort of.
sort of, and says that she's pregnant. Got pregnant by someone named
Randy.
Randy.
Yeah.
And Jackie's like, I can't believe you would like. Again, I think this is why Shauna doesn't consider friends, because like Jackie's first reaction is, I can't believe you kept this from me, and like, why didn't you tell me all this stuff?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's because of who she actually had sex with.
who she actually have sex with?
Jackie's boyfriend.
How do we know that?
Okay, I had to use a lot of context clues. Jackie's boyfriend's name is Jeff. She says something about like, oh, me and Jeff, blah, blah, blah. In the future, Shauna is married to Jeff.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, look
Also,
at you.
I'm pretty sure in the recap, it was like a really short clip of her saying, I'm going to have my best friend's boyfriend's baby.
Oh man.
Yeah. And that's why the whole story.
Okay.
So when
Oh.
I'm blowing your mind.
Oh.
This is why it's crazy. So the whole time that Jackie's like questioning her story when she's like, what? It was Randy? Like, I drove Randy home
Yes.
that night. Like, that's weird. It's because it's all bullshit. She's making it up. The reason she's kept
bullshit.
all of this from Jackie is because it's Jackie's boyfriend that
I
knocked
knew
her
she
up.
was, because when they were talking
Yeah.
about it again by the tree,
Yeah.
she was acting all sketch.
Yeah.
Shauna was acting sketch, and Jackie was, again, as you just mentioned, poking holes in her
yeah.
story.
Yeah. It's not
And
Randy.
then at the end, because Shauna has a diary
Yeah.
of sorts, seems like,
exactly. Yeah.
which one of the other dudes was kind of poking around, maybe looking for. I don't know, but Shauna puts it and hides it away. But at the end of the episode, we see Jackie with this same
Reading
diary,
Shauna's
and she's
diary.
crying. So then that makes
That's
sense.
exactly
then.
why. Yeah. So I think Jackie started realizing something shady was going on, and so took the journal, which I don't know why you would write that like explicit
no.
stuff in your journal and unlocked and just like leave it in a
Yeah.
bag. I don't know. Like that feels like maybe either don't write that down or be really careful with where that goes. 'Cause that's
Or if you were trapped in this remote place with
Yeah.
your best friend whose boyfriend you slept with and now knocked you up,
Yeah.
maybe rip out that page
yeah,
from your
no,
diary.
right? Like just throw it away, burn it, like do
Yeah.
something with it. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
That feels very careless to me. But talk about careless. She got knocked up by her best friend's boyfriend. So not the most careful person. And I guess that was like her losing her virginity, or at least that's what she
Sure.
says.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe she'd actually been with this guy more than once.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold. We don't know the full story yet. Okay,
We don't know the full
Christy?
story.
Let's not go on shame. Okay, it could have been rape. You know, it could have been that.
Yeah, I
It
guess
could
that's true.
have
I guess that's
been
true. Yeah,
non-consensual drunken.
that's true.
Sex. So
That's true. We don't know the full story.
We don't know the full story here.
Yeah, but I do feel. Well, no, she maybe wouldn't have wanted to tell Jackie that either. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a great point. This storyline brings up my most important question: how long have they been on this deserted place? Because if she's just a couple weeks pregnant, like what's the time? What is the timeline? Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
again, we are 7 episodes into season 1, so this
Yeah.
very well could be a week or two, or maybe a month. It could be any span of time. How long do you think it's been?
Well,
If you had wager a guess.
without the pregnancy story like component, like just in general, I feel like it's been at least 6 months. But then because of like how like well established things are, like
Sure,
I don't know,
sure.
it just feels like things are like well established, well run, like they know things about their surroundings. But this pregnancy storyline, she could only be like, I don't know, 8 weeks. And
Yeah.
like when did she get knocked up in comparison to when the plane crash happened?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, I'm going to guess maybe a couple weeks.
And I also wonder, as somebody who, has had babies and stuff, like, how does she, yes, so she skipped her, like, didn't have a period, but, like, that's not the only symptom of, like, pregnant. Like, how did she really know without, like, a pregnancy test or doctors,
True. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, just sometimes being in a stressful situation where you're not eating, like, makes you miss a period. So, like, maybe it's that. Like, how does she know for sure that it's pregnancy?
True.
And she probably doesn't have a lot of experience, like knowing what the symptoms would be. I don't know. I just have some questions about the timeline because she's clearly not showing. So like, what
she's not
is
showing
it
at all.
about her that's I don't know, other than skip period?
Great question.
Okay.
Great
I don't
question.
know. I just again the time, like the logistics are really what's bothering me here. I don't really care about the psychological thriller, the like monsters that might appear in the night. Like I just want to know how long they've been there and like what's happened.
Okay, well, here's coming along with time.
Okay.
When does this take place? The youth, the kids.
Oh,
Are
I
we
know.
in the 90s?
Yeah,
80s?
I know. It's 96. I
Okay.
looked it up. So this show came out in 2021, which is like when the year of the like adult part of the show.
Ah, I
so like it's
see.
25 years later. So the
Okay.
teenager portion is 1996. The adult portion is 2021.
Okay, I was going to guess the 90s.
Yeah, it did feel like a 90s type
Yeah.
scenario. So anyway, and then it's like, what is she going to do with this baby?
What is she going to do with this baby?
That is a huge question that I have, right? Like, a baby's gonna survive in this survivalist? Like, what? I don't know.
It happened on Lost. It happened
Oh,
on
really?
Lost.
Oh, actually, I feel like I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Well, and then, should we talk about the other, like, potential pregnancy that could happen on this? Like, I don't know, like,
What
this
other
girl, well,
pregnancy?
now this girl's
Oh,
trying to have sex with the
yes.
guy.
Yes.
So, like, who knows where that's gonna go?
So let's talk about it is Natalie and her friend, what's his name?
Travis.
Travis.
Who is Travis?
Great. Well, Travis does get off too.
Yeah, we find, well,
Well, he doesn't get
he
off.
eventually dies.
But he gets
And also, he does not get off.
he does survive. So Travis is planning on going to
on the
Ty,
expedition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back when they're youth, Travis plans on going with Ty, but Natalie comes to him
Yeah.
and asks him to stay. Because she's clearly really into him.
Well, I are they in a relationship or like what is that dynamic? Also, who is he?
Exactly.
Assistant coach?
Maybe.
That's my first guess is assistant coach. But then here's a question, right? Like there was probably a crew on this airline. So like
Oh.
okay, larger question. Were they on like a private plane where it was just their team? Right? Like where's everybody else who was on the plane?
That's a great.
Are they
I
that
never even thought
are they
about that.
that
Yeah.
elite of a team that they were on a private plane somewhere? Absolutely not. They're like in high school. So right, like I don't know, right? Like they had to have been on a plane with other people.
Unless they spin the story as one of them is super rich and
Yeah.
mommy has a private plane where they travel around with. Maybe, I don't know. I can see the
But
story being that.
there's got to be a
But you bring up a good
crew.
point. You bring up a good point how there's no one else that we see, no other adults outside of this team.
Right. Like, is there a pilot? Is there like a co-pilot?
Yeah.
Right? Like there's somebody else was probably on the plane. So that's I'm like, is Travis like, was he a co-pilot? He doesn't look that old.
He doesn't look that old.
I don't know.
I,
Was he just like an assistant coach on the team? Is he a manager?
I'm going to go with you on that one. I think he's an assistant coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's that other random boy
I have no
who looked
idea
young.
who that is.
Maybe a coach's
No.
son who's traveling with them. I don't
He
know.
was way too old to be the coach's son.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, why are there boys? Like,
It's a great question.
the pilot's son? I don't know. Like, where's the
Pilot's son.
pilot? Like, I don't know.
Oh, what if he's just like a spooky kid who's there already?
Okay. No. I don't want to hear about
Ooh.
it. Please don't say this.
I'm liking this.
Now I'm going to have
Here
more.
we go.
Now I'm going to have more nightmares.
Goosebumps is up.
Oh my God. This is like very Goosebumps-esque. Okay. The point is, Natalie and Travis are clearly like some sort of thing.
They are a thing.
Because at some point they're basically alone in this, again, like house, and he has his own room with a bed.
Yeah.
Like a full, like there's a bed in this room.
Again, that's why I think it's like a cabin, like or like a camping
I
cabin.
hate it. Anyway, so everybody's gone. She comes in.
Yeah.
She's like, it's bone time.
It's
We
bone
are gonna
time.
have sex.
Yes.
And she's like all into it. And he's
Not
kinda
really
hesitant.
into it.
well, he tries.
He seems very uncomfortable. He does try. She goes down on him.
Yeah.
He's
He
not
stops
into
her.
that. He apparently they have condoms, right? It seemed as if he had condoms because it seemed
Yeah,
as if he put
yeah,
on a
yeah.
condom.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes to do the deed, and he
can't.
He can't. And he gets up. She goes like, "What's wrong?" And he's just like, gives him like, "What does he say? Like, I can't do this."
I
Or,
don't even know.
I gotta go. And so he just storms out the cabin,
Yeah.
assuming with the condom still on. So
Oh. But that's kind of like what all we see of Natalie and Travis
yeah,
as teens.
as teens.
And then, spoiler alert, we do find out later Travis later gets killed, maybe, or kills himself. Travis dies as an adult.
Travis as an adult.
But he, I guess, makes it through the teenager part.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover with them as teens?
I think that is it. So let's hop on over to adult version 2021,
Yeah.
as you've just told me. Thank you very much. So in 2021, there's two main stories going on here. There's the
Yeah.
one with a grown-up Ty, grown-up
Shauna.
and grown-up
Natalie.
Yes. So
Okay.
it sounds as if they are being blackmailed, being
Mm-hmm.
told to bring a mere only $50,000
Mm-hmm.
to a drop point, and they all go together and they drop off a tracking device they got off Amazon, and after some powwow about recapping on life, what's going on with themselves, they track down the bag.
Yeah.
And they have a whole chase scene, including music and everything like that. And the perp gets away and ditches the tracker, and so
Yeah.
that's gone.
Yeah.
So that's one storyline.
Yeah.
Then the other storyline,
I do think they're somewhat connected.
yeah, there's someone connected.
There's some kind of connection between the two. But yes, tell us about the other one.
And the other one is
How
good old friend
how do you
Misty.
even how do you even explain
Good old
Misty?
friend Misty. So Misty is looking at somehow on a tablet watching a room, which we come to find out later is spying on Natalie and her
Her fuck buddy,
her-
Kevin.
her bang buddy.
Yeah.
And but she's also got someone trapped in her basement.
A hostage.
She's
in
got
the
a
basement.
hostage, yeah. And so she goes downstairs to talk to the hostage. And apparently the hostage says that she works for Ty, because Ty's a senator or running
Yeah,
for
running
Senate.
for Senate,
running for
yeah.
Senate, and she's been hired by Ty to go out there and keep a tab on all the survivors and see who's going to talk, because they don't
Yeah.
want to impact her campaign. But she knows about Travis. Travis has also made it out. Travis
Yeah.
is dead, and this person believes that Travis has been murdered.
Yeah.
So does Misty. Misty believes that he's been murdered too. But the problem is that she thinks that her captive murdered him. And
Misty's wild.
Misty's wild, dude. And she's got means, and she's got a very creative means to try and get this woman to talk.
I know.
And one of which is to inject fentanyl into chocolates and then send those chocolates to the captive's father
in a
who's in a
nursing
nursing home
home.
because the father loves chocolates.
She's
So-
psycho.
She is psycho.
And I don't know, I guess that works and makes the hostage talk
Yeah.
because like you can tell Misty is actually going to do this. Like she actually is going to poison and kill this person's father for information.
It was great.
She is crazy. Like the TV screens she has watching people, like the gloves she's wearing. She's just like fully psychotic.
And the TV that she has in the basement,
Yeah.
like she's there watching. She's got like a 90s, maybe 80s style TV down there, and she's watching TV with this captive in the basement, and then turns off the TV and then decides to start interrogating.
I don't know
her.
if you caught the reference to this, what she's watching.
What's she watching?
Okay. She's watching the movie While You Were Sleeping, which is a 90s Sandra Bullock movie.
No.
Tell me you've seen it.
No, I
Oh
have
my God.
not.
Amazing classic movie. So in the woods as teenagers, I caught this when they were telling stories around the fire. Van was telling the story of While You Were Sleeping, the Sandra Bullock movie. Like she was
What
explaining.
a pull, Christy.
I
Damn.
know. Thank you.
Oh my God.
I love this movie. So Van was telling the story of While You Were Sleeping, and it flashes to Misty with While You Were Sleeping on TV with the hostage in the room.
Oh my
because Misty
God.
is fucking
Misty is
crazy.
psycho, dude.
Yes. Like that's how psycho she is.
She probably watched that movie every single day.
Yes. I probably watches that movie every single day of her life.
Wow.
It's a great movie. So
Man.
highly recommend. But yeah, that's why she had the TV on.
Whew.
Like the layers of like psychotic in this show are pretty deep and well done.
Seriously. And that's good job, Chrissy. I'm giving you
Oh my God.
you know.
Thank you.
We start handing out awards on this
Yeah,
this
thank
podcast.
you.
That's
They're good catches.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so she has this hostage. She's treating her in very psychotic ways.
Yeah.
And
Because she's got her handcuffed,
handcuffed
duct
to the
tape over the
bed.
mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
On a bed.
the whole thing. The
Yeah.
whole hostage situation that you would, normally think about.
Psychotic hostage situation you would usually think about.
Oh my God. Anyway.
So
but yeah.
that's about Misty. I mean, is there anything else to talk about
That's
Misty?
kind of the whole Misty
Yeah.
thing. But I do think it somehow is connected because it seems like whoever's blackmailing them, like Misty maybe is either a part of that or like she thinks this hostage is tied to the blackmailing thing. I think it's all connected.
Because what the hostage tells her is that Travis, before he died, because she did go see Travis and she tried to get
Yeah.
Travis to talk, but Travis wouldn't talk, and then he died. And then the very next day, his bank account was empty and closed.
Yeah.
And she says that whoever has the money killed Travis.
Yes.
So, and what we find out from the other story is that everyone believes that Travis killed himself. Like
That's like
it was
the story
ruled
that's
a
yeah.
suicide.
Yeah.
But
Natalie knows that's not true.
Natalie knows that's not true. Missy knows that's not true.
Yeah.
And this investigator knows that's not true.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like Natalie and Travis continued some sort of relationship, right? Because
Yes.
the other women talk about like that was a train wreck. Like I'm glad that's over. So that definitely continues. I do wonder, like, did Travis die before the show start? Like did in one of the earlier episodes did that happen, or had it already happened? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like
Yeah.
how long ago that happened. But the blackmailing thing I'm also gathering is again connected to this whole like Ty running for Senate because like she doesn't
Sure.
want to get all of this stuff out. Which, okay, this begs the question, like, what happened? I guess that's what the whole series is. Like, what happened in the woods that was so bad that Ty wants to hide it? Right?
Great question. Because you would think that this is a great story about a
Yeah.
team of girls who survive the woods and make it out alive. Vote for
Yeah.
me for senator. But yes, there's something more at play here. And even what Natalie says, as they're all powwowing and recapping their lives,
Yeah.
they talk about, when she goes, because Natalie tries to shoot the perp who's stolen the money,
Yeah.
right? And they stop her from shooting because they say that'd be murder. We
Yeah.
can't go from murder to next steps here. And Natalie says we've done much worse than murder.
I know.
So, yeah, something has happened out there in
What
the
do you
woods.
think it was? Because this is the thing. Like, I feel like anybody could say, like, yeah, people died. Like, it's not like a terrible story to be like, yeah, wolves attacked us and somebody died. Like, nobody's going to blame you. I don't, like, I don't think that hurts your Senate chances if it's just something as simple as like, wolves attacked us and somebody died.
Again, seeing as coming back to what I heard about the show before coming in was Lord of the Flies-esque show. That's where I'm going to think that
Like, they started killing each other.
they started killing each other. Maybe factions arrived and they started killing each other. Whatever happened. That's what I think.
Okay, I
went
can
on.
see that. Yeah.
People got pissed off at each other, and
Yeah. Now that I'm kind of thinking about, it does seem like they're setting up for that.
because it's like a
It is
psychological
psychological.
thriller drama. So
Oh my God.
I bet that's what happened.
Yeah, I guess that you can't explain that as well. But I don't know. Like, we were in survival mode. I don't know. Can't you explain away? Like, yeah, like I was fighting for my life. Like, it was her or me. Like, I had to do it. I don't know.
I mean, Ty definitely seems to be a leader
Yeah.
on this group, so maybe she's the one who
Yeah.
in
had
later
to do
seasons is convincing people to kill other people. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I could see that. Okay, so maybe that I could see that she would want to cover that type of thing up if she was like the leader of a murder ring.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess if this is
Okay.
again Lord of the Flies as this is probably what happened. I'm gonna make my
Yeah,
prediction out
make your
here.
prediction.
Ty becomes the leader of one of the groups at the camp and convinces people to kill someone else.
Okay. I completely believe you. I think that, and who knows, maybe, I don't know what's worse than murder. I don't maybe want to speculate on that, but okay. And I
Yeah.
guess that, like, it does make sense that it seems like not many of them survived. I mean, I'm
Right.
sure there are more than what we're seeing, but like, is this the faction that survived? Like, it's just
I mean, we've got what? So from what we've
Shauna,
seen, yeah, we've seen
Natalie.
Shauna. Yes, go ahead.
Ty and Misty, right? That's all we've seen.
And we know Travis.
Travis.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. I mean, again, maybe
Five?
there's probably others, but I don't know. Here's the thing is like, I do want to know what happens, but I also don't want to know what happens. Like for my own mental health, do not want to know what happens. But I don't know. I'm very torn right now between like, do I want to know more details and do I not? I don't know.
I'll watch it
Please
because
do.
I am really pulled into this one.
Okay.
And I'll let
You
you
can
know what
tell me.
happens.
Yeah, because I can't find out for myself. I can't do it. I can't do it. This one scene of wolves ruined it for me.
You also, I assume you watched it at nighttime?
No, I watched it at the
Oh.
middle of the day, bright sunshine. Yep.
I watched it during my lunch break today. So yeah, also
Yeah,
middle of
middle
the
of the
day,
day.
sunshine.
And I
yeah.
was, I don't know. Like I said,
this
I was thinking
really
about it for the whole
impacted
rest
you.
of the
Wow.
day. I know. I didn't like it. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know, the whole adults of it all. Oh, and then Shauna.
Yes, we missed
We
the
missed
part
the
about
Shauna part.
Shauna.
Okay, we gotta
at
talk
the
about that.
And Shauna and Natalie too, I guess. So Shauna comes home at 4 a.m, and there's a guy out there who she's clearly been having an affair with, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Get out of here!" And I thought that he was maybe the young boy from the past,
He could be.
because in the past that young kid whittles her some type of like animal or wolf
Yeah,
or
it
something
could
like
be.
that. Yeah, so I thought it was him, but then when I was looking at IMDb, I didn't see
Oh,
any,
it's not.
because I was looking for like where the actors whose
The names.
character
yeah.
names, but I didn't see that, so maybe it's not. Anyway, it seemed as if it could be, and yeah, she tries to tell him to go away. Her husband and what if my husband, what if my daughter were
Yeah.
here, but he's telling her that you're just like me. You just want to blow this whole thing up.
Yeah.
And they start making out
Yeah.
and go inside her house and start
Like
they-
in
they-
her bed where
Yeah.
her husband sleeps.
Yes, because the next what you would think would happen happens, and the next morning her husband comes home again. We also talk about Jeff here, and she tucks away this dude in the closet, and
Her husband's
barely
closet.
barely is able to convince Jeff from opening the closet, and then when Jeff, who clearly just came from banging someone too,
Yeah.
goes to take a shower, because that's what everyone does after they come back from having an affair, is they go and take a shower right away.
It's good to know.
It's like every movie trope there is out there, and then she gets she convinces this guy to leave. So yeah, so Shauna has also got her own
She's
fucked up
got
stuff
stuff
going on
going
because
on.
she in the whole scene with the other two women, she seems to be most put together, right?
She
She's a
definitely seemed
mom.
the
She's
most normal.
very normal. She's buying trackers off Amazon,
Yeah. She was the
and
most relatable.
exactly, she's got the minivan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we come to find out that she's got her own dark secrets
Yeah.
too.
Well, I'm clearly, I mean, if she is indeed married to Jeff, the best friend's boyfriend who knocked her up as a teenager, like probably not a great start to a
Probably
relationship.
not a great
I
start.
also noted if she had had the baby in the woods, she would have like a 25-year-old kid.
So I don't think the baby
There
makes
was
it.
no reference to a 25-year-old
Don't think the baby
child.
makes it.
Yeah. So just want to point that out. I was trying to again do that math in my head of like
Yeah.
but then like interesting that she ends up marrying Jeff. Again, this is an assumption. I'm assuming the Jeff she married is the same Jeff.
That'd be
I
an
don't know.
odd
Like you would think
coincidence.
like, oh, like let's get married because we had a baby together, but they didn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to think too much about it. It's too depressing, sad and terrible. But yeah, so that's the Shauna, and then the Natalie of it all is she's very messed up.
She's very messed up.
mean,
Sounds
they
like
all are.
stints in rehab
Yeah.
and all kinds of problems. Obviously, Travis. She's apparently in love with Travis,
Yeah.
and they spent maybe 25 years together before he
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
killed himself. Well,
Well,
everyone says that he killed himself, but she knows that he would never do that, and so that also tears her up because she knows that he was murdered, and no one's believing her. So that's also got to be tough, especially when you're an addict and everything like that. So
Yeah.
she's got issues, and she's also having an affair with someone from high school.
Well, I don't know if it's
who-
an affair.
I thought she said that he was married and has kids.
Oh, maybe I missed that.
I feel like
Maybe,
I saw
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay, he's a cop.
He's a
Well,
cop.
that's whose gun she stole.
He steals his gun, the cop's gun, and when the cop gets up the next morning, realizes that his gun's
His
been tampered
gun was
with,
used.
and that there's a bullet missing, and he gets pissed.
I mean, that's like a huge deal.
That's a huge deal. I didn't know about this until he mentioned it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a huge deal because he says that he has to account for every single
round,
bullet.
yeah.
Yeah. And so he gets very upset with her. And he says, I thought what we had was very real.
Yeah.
And Natalie's like, no, we're just fucking around. This is not real.
Also noteworthy, again, this is who Misty has been
And
watching.
Misty is watching this.
Misty's just watching this home bed scene. I don't know, between Kevin and I don't know. Does she watch them have sex?
Probably.
Who? What? Like, and what for? What purpose? Like, why is Misty watching Natalie?
Because
and
she's a
Kevin?
psycho, and she probably feels that she has to keep tabs on everyone. She has to protect everyone.
Oh my god.
That's what it seems really seems like. She feels like she needs to protect everyone. She's probably been keeping tabs on every single person this whole time.
Can I tell you my last note about Misty?
Please do.
Do you know who she's played by?
Isn't that Christina Ricci?
I could not have told you that. She does such a
No?
good job. No, I was like, there's no way that's Christina Ricci.
Before I knew it was Misty, I wrote down Christina Ricci.
You
So,
recognized her
right
immediately?
right off the bat,
I just
yeah.
thought she did like she looked to me not I don't know, because she usually to me in movies that I've seen her in is like the dark hair. I don't know. It didn't look like her. I thought she did a great job. Like she fully was Misty.
Yes,
Like
100%.
like that's why when I went back later and saw that it was Christina Ricci, I was like, no, there's no way. Like that was fully a psycho named Misty.
Yeah,
So,
no, they
she did a
did-
great job.
Great job portraying young Misty as an older Misty.
Yeah.
And also with the hair and the eyeglasses,
Yeah.
like nothing's changed, right? She
Yeah.
probably still lives in the 90s.
Yeah.
She's still probably still obsessed. She is clearly obsessed with
The team.
the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great acting.
Yeah,
Excellent acting.
no, okay. I'm glad you picked up on that sooner than me. Like, and it's funny because I was like, oh, before I put it on, I saw her name. I was like, oh, Christina Ricci's in this, and then I was like, who is Christina Ricci? I just completely, I don't know. She just did such a good job, like becoming that character.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of it. I don't know. So we still don't know like who the blackmailer is.
We don't know who it
and
is.
I don't know. I guess Ty's hopefully coming along on her Senate journey.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But someone knows their secret and someone is clearly
Yeah.
trying to fuck with them
Yeah.
and maybe mess up her.
I
Senate race.
guess. But like, why?
I don't know.
I don't know. Also, like, There's no proof. I don't know. That's the other thing. Like, what does this blackmailer have? Like, what evidence is there? Like, couldn't a random person come out of the woodwork and be like, oh, Ty did X, Y, and Z in the woods? Like, couldn't Ty just be like, no, I didn't?
Well, Ty mentions about a reporter who's being very snoopy.
Yeah. But, like, there's no evidence.
I guess unless it's
And maybe there is.
unless it's one of the girls.
Yeah, but again, like, couldn't Ty just be like, it's her word versus mine? Like, she's crazy. Like, hey, everybody from this crash is like psycho now. Like, of course she's going to say these crazy things. Like, who do you believe, her or me? I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. I don't know the whole story, obviously, but unless there's evidence, this story, like, it's all just he said, she said.
I mean, but they're trying to play mind games, man. They're fucking with them.
I guess.
Only asking for $50,000. I was like,
yeah.
They're only asking for $50,000.
I did love how when she pulls out the stack of money, that's $50,000. Sean is like, that's it?
Some good humor.
I thought that was going to be more than that. It's just like, I don't know, like a couple inches thick of a wad of money.
Because she had the whole plan, like, again, like seen from movies, right? That it's going to be a huge bag of money and that they could just slip in the tracker in there. But yeah,
it was just like one little band of money. That was the part that I liked the most out of the whole show, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it. I don't think I can talk about anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're
for
sure going to have nightmares
due to
tonight.
me wanting to sleep soundly tonight.
Okay, so then let's talk about acting quality then, right? So from A being the best acting out there to F just being garbage acting, how would you grade the acting in this show?
I think overall I'd put it like an A-. Like I believed these people of who they were. I don't know. That's all I have to say. I thought they did a really good job. What about you?
A- too.
Yeah.
Especially for such a large cast, because as we've talked about, right? Like when you get such a large cast, got varying acting qualities, which then brings down the average. But no, everyone was really good.
Yeah.
I also wrote down A-.
Oh,
so
perfect. We were aligned. I mean, I just think maybe a handful of the teenagers weren't as strong, but for the most part, I mean, especially the adult actresses, so good.
Yes.
They were great.
They got some heavy hitters over there.
Yeah. Very, I mean, Melanie Litsky and Juliette Lewis.
I think
yeah. And then Christina Ricci. Like, they're also good.
They are really good.
Yeah.
And they brought it.
They did.
All right. And then over to our rock rating, which is our representation of color rating, depending on the POCs that are in this show, from a 0 out of 10. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Because, Ty is a main character. And we do see one other...
The hostage.
Oh, it is a hostage?
The hostage is black, I think. Right?
I was IMDb'ing her. She's either black or brown.
Yeah, okay.
And then I think there's one other team member who's black.
Okay.
So overall, okay. But not great in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been more.
Well, it was a soccer team in the 90s.
That's true.
Not a lot of opportunity for people of color back then.
But I mean, I think there were opportunities to add more POCs in this show, and
Okay.
But
there we go.
So I gave it 6 out of 10. Finally, did you like it?
I will give the show its credit that it is a very well done show, right? The acting is great. I think the way they do it is great. I do not want to take away from that. Did I like it? No, I can't. I can't think about it. I can't watch it. No, I can't do it. It's the psychological thriller type that I just can't do. So sorry. Anybody who likes a show, I'm sure, it makes sense to me. It's a very well done show. I can't do it. I think I know your answer. What about you?
Oh, yes. I've been raving about this whole, how long we've been doing this. I've been raving about it. And yeah, I think earlier when you came in, my wife was also saying how she liked it too. So I think we're going to be going back and watching this one.
Yeah. And that's great. Again, for people who are into it, I could totally see why. That's great. Good for you. Please don't tell me any details about any of the psycho stuff that's going to happen. I don't want to know.
But the only problem is that, again, only season 1's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. That's a great point. I think they're starting season 4, so I think there's only been 3. So take your time.
Yeah.
maybe come back to maybe eventually more seasons will be
Maybe,
on Netflix.
hopefully Netflix will get some more. Yeah.
Or do some pirating illegally,
I
Do what you
don't-
gotta do.
I have no idea how to do that.
Okay, talk to my husband
Okay, I'll
later.
talk to
He'll
him.
help you with All right. Well,
All right.
good luck. I hope that you're able to complete the journey of Yellow
I'll
Jackets.
let you know how it goes.
Please do.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Remember to follow us on Spotify or wherever you're listening. And if you're liking what you're hearing, please rate us 5 stars. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Random Episode Pod. Finally, and most importantly, come back next week for our next random episode.
Bye.